All right, we'll call to order the meeting of the Fairfield Public Library Board of Trustees um, at 7:13 p.m. on Monday, June 8th. One thing at the top, I would like to just make a little amendment for item 12, trustee nominations. We'll be going into executive session for discussion on that. To discuss the nominees. All right, next item, roll call, May Bear, John Capasso, here, Aaron Harrigan,
Here.
Stephanie Bersari.
Here.
All right. There is no public comment in the room, nor does there appear to be any on the Zoom. So with that, we'll go into the approval of minutes. We're going to take a moment to look at the minutes and just address any edits if necessary.
I've got a few when you're ready.
Go for it.
Section 12B, asking for feedback from the trustees about the strategic plan. Is today the first day we're actually seeing the strategic plan? I don't remember having seen it in our special meeting in
It
May
wasn't, it
or
wasn't, yeah,
April.
the 18th, it wasn't in the packet.
I don't remember. I just want to make sure that if I was supposed to have seen it, I didn't until today. So sorry about that, but so if I'm the only one who hasn't seen it, then that's not a thing. I didn't read it before today. Section C, could we maybe just the part about, where are we now? Excuse me. Section C, which talks about the new AV section, the new AV purchase. Maybe we could just clarify that it's in light of the main floor spaces increased use for public gathering, which feels to me like a more substantive reason for purchasing the AV equipment. The annual meeting section, I feel like we should change the word party to community convening. That's section 12D. I don't want to give the public the wrong impression that we're just partying. And that was it.
Yeah.
So, yes.
Jan, can you just check to see if my regular account is in the waiting room?
What?
Can you just check the waiting room to see if my regular Zoom account's in there?
There's no one. Who are you looking for?
You
Who are you
testing it?
looking?
It's testing out the link. That's okay. No, yeah, never mind.
I used the link that was in the revised what you sent.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on. Sorry, never mind.
Actually, I found more notes that I made too.
Yes.
Sorry. Section
it.
section 7, the third sentence, which is the last line. There's a typo.
Considerable.
Instead of considerably, I think it needs to be considerable. Section 8A in the fundraising report. Could we just call it a database in the final second to final sentence of that instead of repository? Because it's going to be pretty minimal. I feel like repository indicates something much bigger than it's going to be. Question
Yeah.
in Friends of the question on Friends of the Library C. I don't know what the sentence "this event honors the Friends" member was meant to indicate.
The literary luncheon honors the Friends members. Not a specific Friends member, but the members in general.
Oh,
I don't understand that either because they're asked to pay to attend it.
I was
Like, I
there. It
think-
didn't seem like there was a particular focus. Is Mike in the room?
He's not.
Okay.
Hmm.
I just
So
don't recall
it's a
the literary
fundraiser.
luncheon. It's not our event, so I don't know that I need to spend too much time on it. I just didn't know what it meant. Having been there, I didn't feel like there was an honor of members of the Friends happening. It didn't feel like that kind of event.
Like, no, thank you for being members or anything like that.
No, I mean, it's a fundraiser, so I don't know, that took me aback when I read it too. I didn't understand it either. Maybe, maybe just ended after May 27th.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then lastly, that 11 old business, the privacy and confidentiality of library records. The second statement, the state doesn't want this policy. I think is it more like the state advised that the policy is unnecessary since it restates existing state law?
I like that wording better.
Unnecessary then rather than doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like they're watching us, and if we can be politic. And we do
Right.
say that later that it is state law, so it's in that same paragraph. Feels like that section could just be tightened with and feel a little less I don't know, feel a little more polite.
I was absent from the last meeting and I didn't understand what that meant. I think that's good clarification. And real minor on that, I think the first sentence should say contacted by the state of Connecticut.
Mm,
Sounds like Big Brother.
Yep.
It is Big Brother. I'll identify Big Brother.
We other as John or Aaron. All right, doing a motion to approve the notes, the approve the minutes as amended.
I move that we approve the minutes as amended, the May special meeting.
Second that.
John seconds. All in favor? Aaron, did you say aye?
yeah, I
So moved. All right. What a time for what is effectively my last chairman's report. With so much smooth technology. Actually feels like being back at the beginning of my term. COVID,
Yeah.
where we were all Zoom. Now just half of us. I'll keep it brief, but this serving as the chairman of this board has been one of the most fulfilling things in my life. To be part of, to serve this community and to be able to work with all the trustees, with all the library staff. Has been extremely important to me, and I will miss this, but I know that it is in good hands moving forward. And I'll just make note that I think one of the best things I've been able to do as a member of this board is bring on Scott as our town librarian, because he has done so much for this library, for this town, but so much for this board in terms of governance, in terms of guidance, that we are in a much stronger position now than we were when I started 6 years ago. And it makes me extremely happy to know that stewardship is here and in place for both the library, for the board. And yeah, I have no concerns moving forward, moving off, because it is in very solid footing. And to work with you, Scott, has been extremely fulfilling, but to just consider you as a friend as well has been extremely fulfilling. And I will miss this for sure. But as I say, this is the board that is in an extremely good place and will be extremely impactful to this town for years to come. And I look forward to hearing from everyone on everything going on with this and all the projects going on, and continuing to be involved in any way I can with the library. Bit more than I wanted to say necessarily, but did feel the need to say that as this is my last chairman's report. With that, we'll move into library updates.
Thank you, Andrew. So, just a couple of things I want to point out from the report. Woods had historian Mike Allen here right in this room for a well-received talk on Connecticut's role in the American Revolution, welcoming about 70 people. So our America 250 events have been very popular, even though we decided to kind of bring a light touch approach to them. I also want to call out the fact that on the 21st, the main library will host again for Make Music Day, a full bank of music performers right out on the patio, which is also a nice kind of touch since you all have to pay for the work there. Children's Services had a workshop, Big Emotions, Big Reactions, and it was very popular, gave parents practical tools for understanding and responding to their children's emotional reactions. And, they're looking forward to summer reading and the summer reading challenge, and you all are welcome to come and stop by. That'll be June 20th. That'll be the big kickoff at the Fairfield Museum and History Center. I will make sure in my bag to have name tags if you guys want to come down and walk around. We'll make sure that we stick on the fact that you're a trustee, so you know what's going on. Teen Services, Teen Department hosted 3 parent programs on executive function skills. These are always really popular. And these were for families of middle school, high school, and college-bound students. And the attendance was strong across all 3. And again, the department's also looking forward to the summer reading challenge. And they always add a nice component because we use volunteers that are teens. So it's kind of not only do they get to do their own summer reading, but they have a volunteer program where it helps out. In terms of just kind of back end stuff, circulation, patron point is being set up. This is kind of a text and email notifications to patrons from the ILS. So we're getting close. We're not there, but we're getting close to getting the ILS to work the way we want it to work. Makerspace, lawn games are now circulating through the library thing, and staff are working on adding signage and improving bag organization and storage. We will start rolling out more and more as things go on, and also the makerspace is really taking off with crafting programs and just they've been really popular and putting in a lot of really great work there. And then we will be featured in Fairfield Coastal Neighbors July edition. We'll have an article about summer reading in that as well. And from an operations perspective, it's just the same headaches over HVAC, plumbing, some plumbing issues here and at the main library. But overall, buildings are holding up even with the changes in weather. That's a huge stress on any building. You know, 'cause the HVAC has to kick in and then turn off, and it's a lot of square footage and a lot of air, but we're doing better. Those ceiling tiles dropping this year, so we're doing better here. The main library has had some challenges, and we've had a lot of bathroom challenges, both from people and also from just things misfunctioning. We had a sink this weekend that was overfilling here. But we got that figured out. So same old building problems. It's always HVAC or bathrooms, but they've kind of spiked a little bit. And I think it's because the bathrooms at the main library are both reaching, an older age and will start to need some things replaced out. And then, last but not least, we didn't have a lot of incident reports, but we did have one patron who was kind of returning patron, who I guess we've had a history with. They were caught looking at pornography on the computer, and they received a formal written warning just saying that if we catch them again, and then the individual got angry with the staff who was talking to him, and it just ended up the whole thing. So they've gotten a warning, but they've not showed up since their warning. And then the political side of things, the political side of things, we had our first department review with the administration. We had never had to do that before. I will actually share it in next, because it was, I think, technically this month. But it went relatively well. I actually like the idea of it. We sat down with Christine and also her chief of staff, also Christine. And we just kind of did a review of what, we're looking to do. We talked about the strategic plan, we talked about the Woods project. I kept it very much to buildings and facilities, explaining to them that's really the town's role is buildings and facilities. So we had a lot of conversations, had a good conversation about doing something about security at the library, which went really, really well, and actually pulled the head of DPW in. We talked about the fact that we need to redo the HVAC when it comes to the study rooms. All good conversations. I think it was definitely worth having. That's it. We're gonna get the carpets cleaned next week. Which will always be nice, and some other stuff to do.
Fantastic. Any questions with regards to the operations report?
What time is the summary?
It is,
June 20th.
Mhm.
No, what time?
I think it's 12, but I mean, it's in my calendar.
Usually midday, yeah.
This is the first time it's on a weekend. Usually it's on a weekday.
It's the 20th, May 20th. I have noon. I will check our website just in case. There will be an ice cream truck and a petting. An ice cream will be $2 for adults, but I think every child will get a free.
Oh, that's nice.
I will be there eating ice cream.
Yeah.
I couldn't help but note that the code of conduct had to come into play. And
Yes.
I appreciate the sensitivity, it sounds like, with which the situation was handled. So I just want to share that. And I also wonder whether the way it has been rewritten with our, deep thoughtfulness over the last several months, whether there was any change or what the experience on the staff was in having that new version to point to. If none, great, fine. I was just curious.
No, the staff did point out that the way the policy is written now was helpful in kind of framing the conversation. And I think it was more getting staff buy-in about the approach that it helped with, because there are staff kind of on both sides of the opinion, and it was just, I felt like, it was the staff member handles these things very well, but the additional staff around him, we've had a library close, which is a few train stops down. And they were very wise in giving us kind of a heads up that we might get some of their patrons, and we most certainly did. So really owe them, and it was a little bit of a change in kind of, I think it was a change for both the patrons and the staff. And I believe this one patron was actually came kind of in that group of individuals that were kind of exploring different libraries to get a place to be for a couple months. But this individual, there were some additional things that went on with this individual. So it was, I was very happy with the way the staff approached it. And I thought what it did was inform this person. I think you come to Fairfield, the last thing you think about is that there's gonna be services like this, and Operation Hope is great. And the fact that it's around the corner for us, I think it was helpful for this patron to be like, oh, really, you guys have, they have laundry. They have a washer and dryer at Project Hope, and I think they were really kind of excited to find out that even though Fairfield seems like this affluent community, that their services are still provided, and we were happy to inform them of it. So I think it worked out in the end. We haven't seen the individual, but pretty much that entire group of individuals haven't been coming in as frequently. We may have stolen one patron from this library, but the others, as one said, we really want our home back, which is sweet to hear someone talk about their library that way. So yeah, I'm very happy with the staff, the way the staff dealt with it, because I think I tell the story that way because it wasn't like, oh God, we've got these patrons from so and so, well, let's just kick them out of the building. It was more like, oh, we're gonna serve these individuals while they're here, and you know what, let's help them out while we can with other things. So I was very happy with the way they handled it.
That's great.
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Yes. All right, next item under library updates is budget.
So the budget passed, we had a minimal ask compared to other departments, but we're still probably getting about an 8% increase. Some of that's driven by the fact that we have our IT librarian back under our budget. It got moved to IT's budget a few years ago. Really under I was new, but I objected, and the head of IT he didn't seem like he pushed it either, so it was a little bit confusing. But it was a little unnerving for our staff, but that has changed. So that was a good chunk of our budget, but we asked for an increase for other things, including some additional money to give our part-time staff, kind of get them closer to where it's comparable to other libraries. So I'm really, really proud of that,
Good.
but it went really smooth. Board of Finance, we didn't even get asked to go before the RTM. Board of Finance was very receptive. They had some really great questions about ebooks. I was a little uncomfortable because we got slated right behind Pequot, but I actually think we ended up complementing each other very, very well. There was a moment in which a member of one caucus asked that if having 3 libraries was a little bit of a luxury. Luckily, someone within their own caucus kind of turned around and scolded them, which I always invite people to watch that meeting. But other than that, it was a really smooth process. We're really, really happy with it, and hopefully next year's as easy.
Great. Great. All right. Next. Excuse me. Next item is the policy review, which is the FPL gift policy. I know. When did we last review this? Was a year
ago. We all.
Yeah. I was gonna
Is this
say.
the one that we landed on though?
This is the one that we've had that asked.
Where's the donor? It didn't look, I was trying to go back and compare. I feel like there's like a section missing. Where's our donor relations section?
This does look like it. This does look like it.
I don't think this is the one. The one we passed had definitions
Okay.
with unrestricted and restricted closer to the top.
Yes.
It had donor relations and the acknowledgement that we would be bringing people together both in private as well as at the library.
Yes.
I'm thinking this is
Yeah, I will go through, I'm glad we're.
Yeah.
You know, reviewing it, so let me go back and maybe that, cause I just pulled this from the web, cause my assumption is whatever's on the web is what's most recently passed. So it's possible that we never uploaded the new version, so
I think that's the case.
let me go back through my notes and get the correct version for you. Luckily, this is just an introduction, so.
Yeah, the dates on the end,
Yeah, it's 2023.
Okay, I'll go back and find it and find the corrected version. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't believe that we're looking at it again too. I was like,
Right.
wow, it's been a really fast freaking year.
Oh, that's right. It's nice to have IT back under the library, I suppose. Make sure we have the right the right policies uploaded. Yeah, so I would say just for next month, potentially, or even September. We've reviewed it more recently enough that
Yeah.
We agonized over it.
it should be necessary. So I think that's fine to just hold the plan should be to hold as is.
Couldn't we even just be like, we just did this, it's fine.
Yeah, we can. We don't have, I mean, if there's no changes, we don't have to do anything.
Yeah,
We
I
can
mean,
just say that it has been addressed in depth recently. And no additional changes are necessary at this point.
I mean,
Yes.
that's why I said in our memo. We don't see, I'm not asking for any changes. It hasn't affected us.
Yeah,
It hasn't really been tested either, from what I can tell.
Really.
So,
true. All right. So check that box.
if everybody agrees, I'm happy with like moving on and not having to look at it again.
Yeah, I think that's fine. All right. Next into the committee / liaison reports. First item is the fundraising committee. Stephanie, anything?
There's
Nope.
no report on my end.
Building committee, with regards to that, Scott, anything?
So we had a not so great meeting with the architects. I did get a note of apology from Joe, our capital planning person. I think we need to recircle the horses. I think you and I might want to meet with Joe and just say, this is not, yeah, I'll read what I wrote because I think it's better than me kind of stumbling through it. Managerial staff met with the architects of what was intended to be a brainstorming session like they did with the staff here. However, we were presented with preliminary drawings, which completely shocked me. And that was not the intended purpose of the meeting, as the meeting was held in a hybrid format. They didn't have the files digitally, so we couldn't share them with the staff here. So it just went really sideways. They acknowledged that it went really sideways. I'm not sure, because we have a schedule and they weren't really supposed to share any draft this until like June, till this month. Like they were gonna send me something to kind of look at. So Joe and I are now trying to reschedule a brainstorming with the managers. We're gonna have it here just in case. But
Yeah, they had met with the staff here,
Mhm.
so this meeting was really supposed to be for them to meet with the people at the main library. And we were hybrid because there was really no need for us to go down there since we had already met with them.
Yeah.
But like Scott said, they had papers. And
Things to
because they didn't have it
present.
digitally, we didn't have anything.
I'm
Okay,
sending them photos from my phone.
yeah, so it was a little
That's
hard for us to, yeah.
You can't
It was really just
conceptualize
for them
that,
to
yeah.
meet the staff and, like you said, brainstorm, like
Just
we
like,
did
hey,
here.
we like this, we don't like that,
Yeah.
what we did here, and it was like just.
What were they basing the drawings on? Of the
Well,
Only the woods.
From the woods, or I feel like they were just doing what?
No, I don't.
Okay, I'll let Nancy talk. on
No,
this.
because my step, well, again, we didn't have any plans with us, so we didn't really know.
Yeah.
And based on what people were saying, it's like, no, that's not what we really said.
Not even what
here,
you,
so.
but did you feel like they just kind of gave you generic idea? They had come up with?
I'll be candid, the new building concept that we got, I felt was slightly canned.
Yeah.
Hmm,
I know you guys liked the outdoor rooftop.
Again, it was like too hard to even like, because we didn't have anything to
Yeah.
look at, so it was kind of like, I don't even know what this is.
But I feel like the reason that this firm was chosen is that they were gonna listen to what was wanted before presenting like a standard idea.
So that's, I don't want to talk, I think it's a little crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just very.
Mm.
It was disheartening is probably the best, I just have to call every staff member here on the phone just to apologize and be like, sorry that it was not the intention.
Go back, we lit staff like this and we're literally with, cause they did send a couple years with magnifying glasses.
Yeah, it was just very, it was disheartening, actually, is the way I'm gonna say it.
So did Joe talk to the architect?
Yes, Joe talked to the architect, and I guess the architect recognized that it was not,
Yeah, okay,
did not go well, so at least they recognized that, but
let's see how they recovered.
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and as I said to Joe, I'm like, any project you really need support and buy-in from the staff, and this was a great way to lose buy-in from the staff.
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
So,
This is a major project. Yeah,
and it's a large investment from the trustees.
absolutely. Well, keep us posted. Yeah. I guess. Posted. I'll just text you on the side.
Yeah, I don't think it's real anymore.
Yeah, that's right. Just me asking you as a friend. All right, yeah, it's disappointing to hear, but. We'll see how they respond. Yep, obviously. For friends of the library, it does not appear Mike is here or on the call, so we will skip those updates unless, Scott, there's anything you wanted to share.
Not that I can think of, I know the book sale did really, really well, and the book sale seems to be moving up, speed. I feel like, that's becoming, again, things come and go. I feel like the book sale is really becoming a big one for them now, and then Margot, who runs the book sale, does an amazing job running the book sale. She actually got recognized by the town as a volunteer. We nominated her.
Oh,
She
fantastic.
got recognized and really deserved the recognition.
That's great.
May I ask a quick question, just thinking the gift policy just sort of reminded me, I think maybe we've talked about it before, but. How often are gifts coming to the library, not through the friends?
Well, not
Not too
often, not too frequently. If there's a death. And they put in the obituary, please, we'll get a few checks then.
Oh,
But there's not really, when tax, December comes around
right.
and everybody's trying to have they given enough, what's their automatic deduction? We'll get a few checks, and then we'll get a few checks who have always given, the new tax code makes things harder, but people are kind of in that mood for giving.
Yeah,
They've kind of been taught November, this, November, December, you're given no matter what, if you're gonna write it off or not. So we'll get a few in that month, but it's a trickle, it's not,
Okay.
And again, if it's a certain amount, if somebody asks, I go, do you want it for programming or towards the building? And if they say programming, I say, then the
Right.
Friends is probably the better way to go.
I was just wondering if it sounds like maybe no, but if there's any way to just sort of like keep the fundraising committee up to date. Like, it sounds like it's not even something that would be a monthly report, a quarterly report, or just like maybe if a
That's
gift
a
comes
great idea.
through, like. We can, cause I was just reading that, like stewardship is a priority, but we aren't really able to you know, even do a thank you. Or just to keep on our radar if something comes through and we wanna research
Yeah, and we will
the
definitely. do
donor.
that.
Thanks.
I would say most of what we get are like from estates, like people who
Yeah.
have passed on. The last several years, that's been the bulk of what we've gotten.
Right.
Yeah.
In that situation, you know, or maybe someone from the library staff is already doing this, but, you know, like the board getting in touch with the family and seeing.
It's good, as, up in Maine, where we used to do, and it was a different situation, I think that's 70% from the town and 30% we had to raise on our own. And any donation, we sent out a thank you note, it was the board of directors,
Right.
letterhead. Signed by the head of the board. And, yeah, acknowledged, and not sure that's something we want to do, but it was nice, it wasn't hard to do, I had to go in the library every week, see what we got. And,
Yeah,
you know,
something
a
like that.
form letter, it wasn't hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something we haven't done for the estate donations. For, you know, like any donation that comes in, I do send a thank you, but not if the people are dead. I like that's just like a step too far for me, but definitely be good for the board to do.
Put that on
Yeah.
your plate, but like my family set up like a memorial scholarship and it's nice to get, like, we'll get like updates from who it went to that year kind of thing, some like. You know, if the library meant something to that person, then maybe their family would
Yeah.
wanna hear from us.
Well, we did have that bench situation there at Woods where the daughter of a Woods patron wanted to have her remembered in some way, and there were donations, and there was a bench in her honor that is there. And so Scott was very involved with notifying the family, dealing with the family.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We had something, there's something in there, in that regard, in the policy with regards to.
Right, when the board would
Mhm.
do it versus
Yeah.
library staff.
I
Yeah,
just don't remember off the
maybe
top of my
just
head.
worth revisiting what we decided. I remember we discussed it during the.
I think we thought policy was bigger and that coming from the policy would be a set of guidelines. And we just haven't taken it to the next step of coming up with what the guidelines are to support the policy. But certainly one of the things we had talked about was how we do acknowledge and what the process, gift size dependent would be.
Mhm.
Yeah, particularly when we actually get down to doing woods, right? If we're gonna
Yeah.
be raising. We should
Absolutely.
Have some sort of.
nice acknowledgement.
Yep.
I'm sure they understand the acknowledgement was nice to document.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. All right, with that, we get to the treasurer's report. Aaron? Aaron, did we lose you?
Might be on mute.
She is on mute, but wonder if she was on the Wi-Fi and got kicked off accidentally.
No, I'm here.
Uh,
Um,
I just noticed you kicked off the Wi-Fi here, that's why.
no, I'm sorry, it wasn't going off mute. Treasurer's report, yes. Good news is that the endowment is increasing again this month, following what the market performance. So the endowment is up 7% for the year. All good news there. We're at 13.3 million. I've had a lot of back and forth over the last few weeks with the Mercer team. If you recall last meeting, I had let the team know that they can no longer pull our fees, which are $7,500 a quarter from the Vanguard funds, because now we have the Vanguard Mercer breakout, if you will. So when I spoke to them last time before the meeting and I brought this up, I could just sign, I want to say just, but I could sign a form and we agreed I would that said standard some letter of authorization and would allow them to pull the fees from the portfolio. Turns out they can't do that. And their suggestion instead is to wire funds from Vanguard to First County Bank and then have us pay out of First County. It's a pain. I said to them, I can't believe, like, to be honest, I can't believe they're making clients do this. Like, they must not be getting paid, to be honest, from anyone. Like, this seems like so out of the ordinary for any investment advisor to pull their fees this way or be paid this way. I'm told there is going to be a new solution with Vanguard's new platform in the future, but this is the only solution as of now. It just seems a little crazy that this is the only workaround that they have. That being said,
Yeah.
I'm trying to get them to give me some invoices. So I guess if that's okay with everyone, that's what we'll do. And Jan, I don't know if you can initiate the ACHs or checks from First County. Normally I don't. I could go to the bank and do it as well. But we should use the funds from the Vanguard funds to pay these invoices. It's just, in my view,
I can certainly send a check, but yeah, it seems so antiquated.
exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
didn't they think of this when they set up this whole
I know you would
Mercer
think
thing?
they're very big institutions. So that's what's shocking to me. I'm like, I said to them, like, I can't believe you're making your clients do this. Like, and again, I just have to assume they're not getting paid very often because of this. Their cash must not be in a good spot. But that aside, I don't think there's another solution now, and I'd rather not go longer without paying, because interestingly, they didn't even tell us this for about the first 9 months that this set up. They must have been trying to fix it, is my assumption. And then finally they sent an invoice to me and I questioned why I was getting an invoice because I've never received one in the past. So that's the status of where we are as far as paying the fees.
So how many quarters do we owe them for?
We owe them 4. So Q2 25 through Q1 26.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you will take money from the Vanguard accounts
Yes.
and put it in First County, and then I'll write a check and mail it to them?
Yes, if that works for you. And I'll get the
Yeah, fine.
track all of this. It's just, again, it seems very circular, but
Okay.
okay.
My one concern with that, Aaron, because we've not had this as a line item as part of our budget. If we do go through auditing.
Yep.
You see $30,000 $30,000 in expenses for this. I would just say I would say tell them we need to vote on it. Because this is something that has been included previously.
Yep.
And that's the kind of number that could definitely flag.
But yeah,
Because it's never appeared before. So we'll just need to add that to the next month's meeting as an item, and as we've talked about, we're gonna keep it brief, but as long as we have the invoices for that meeting, we vote on it, approve it, goes through the proper process. And if they come back, we have the item in the agenda that we've done that, but just, yeah, I mean, this is on them.
yeah, really it is. Yeah.
Like,
So Aaron, sorry to interrupt you.
no,
I say, so they used to take the money directly out of the fund?
Correct. Yes, they have always.
yes,
The advisors and funds were both Vanguard. And so when Mercer bought the advisory team, I don't know how exactly, obviously, it's set up, but that's where there's the breakdown and they no longer have access. Then I asked them again about that letter and they said, oh, we weren't supposed to do that because we can't pull our own fees. I thought the letter was supposed to allow them to pull their own fees, but I guess not. They must have figured out on their end from a legal compliance standpoint, they couldn't do that.
yeah, I think we're just gonna have to vote on it though.
Okay, that's fine with me. I'll let them know.
Too bad you let us know now after the
Oh.
budget's done too.
Yeah, like what if it's just not an option?
Uh. Well,
So that also reminds me that, Aaron, when you're pulling that money out of the Vanguard accounts, if you could take out from the Lurchin account, the money for the mural.
Okay, sure. Can you let me know how much that is?
I think it was 11,000 or 11,500. I can tell you in a minute.
Okay, thanks.
And then Aaron, we also need to know what we're taking out for next year's budget.
Yeah, we don't know until the end of June,
Okay,
yeah,
the full quarter.
So is the next thing budget or no? No.
no, we're just talking treasurer's report. Budget is in a couple items. All right then.
And the only other update I have is that I've asked them to change. This is more for Jan and I's purposes for tracking, but without any of the notices what we receive, we can actually clearly see the Simcoe fund because they gave it, just their as in Vanguard's normal naming convention.
Gotcha.
Doesn't mean anything to us. So I haven't got confirmation yet, but I got replies about the fees instead. So I'm sure they received that. So hopefully we'll see that change.
Okay.
So for that money from the Lurchin Fund, would we not only take the amount for the muralist, but also for the reception from the Lurchin Fund, or does the board pay for that?
No, I would not take I would not take the reception from the Lurchin Fund because that money is specifically for the children's section.
Yeah, that sounds right to me.
And reception does not, I don't think it aligns with the intended purpose.
I agree.
So
So then,
The fund,
Yes, we did vote to fund
Yeah.
that. So.
And Jan, I think the Lurchin Fund is commingled.
no, it's separate,
It's-
completely separate.
Which one this is the one.
It's the one that has around 35 to 40,000 in it.
Oh, that's that one.
That's the only way I can tell them apart is by the amounts that are in them.
All right, well, I'll have them rename that one too. So that's the one that, yes, with like 30,000. I know exactly what you're talking about.
So, does anybody remember when the mural got finished? October, maybe?
I don't.
No, later than that. It was this year. I
I
think
think the reception was in March or April.
April
it
19th.
was in April because it was when I was coming back from.
Yeah, but remember we delayed it for so long?
I don't recall.
I'm sure it's in, report.
I think it was like September, because wasn't it supposed to be over the summer, Scott? And then wasn't over the summer?
It got painted over the summer.
But then when did Mary Jo work on it?
I don't say July, but I'm trying to look.
July?
I think that was me. I might have it. I'm just so fast.
That's fine.
Let's see. So the mural started September 30th.
That's when she started working on it?
I believe so, yeah. Yep, and the ribbon cutting was this 19th.
Jan, are you trying to find the amount in our reconciliations?
Yeah, or the checks for approval. It's easier to see there, I think.
Yeah,
Independence leaves. No, it was in 2025.
Yeah, because they did the protective coat Monday, November 3rd.
Okay, here it is.
Started in September, finished in November.
10,000 even? That's all I see is 10,000. I can double check that tomorrow.
So she give us an invoice, she gave us an invoice.
I remember that amount.
Yeah, so it looks like 10,000. But there weren't any extra charges for like paint or anything like that, was there?
Not that I know. Tamara would have sent us the invoice.
Yeah, I think that was it. I don't remember there being more than one check. Well, I have a number of ways to check, but I can't do it while we're on the Zoom call because I'm not connected to. I don't have the remote connection during Zoom. So 10,000, unless you hear otherwise from me, Aaron, I will send you an email right away if that's not correct. Okay,
Yes.
Where would it be on the S drive, Jen? Or is it in your drive?
QuickBooks.
it's in the
It's on
January,
your drive.
it's in the January meeting packet. Mary Jo Scott, $10,000.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe there was anything other than that.
Confirmed.
Yep, it's in the board packet.
I see, we voted on that check, so that's what it is. All right. 10,000. So. All right, speaking of, now we're into reconciliations and check reports. Take a look. Yeah, the patio work. You voted on that, didn't you?
Yeah, everything's voted on.
Yeah, that was.
We just have to work out the process with the town, and at this point. They took it out of a budget line, so at this point, it's just, once this check is approved, I sign it and lock it over to Tom.
Okay,
So. We're pretty much at the end of that process, and then they just need to replenish a budget line.
all right. That was a big one. That, I remember we voted on it, but didn't know that. The full process of getting that done is
Well,
us
they,
paying the town effectively.
basically, they view it as a donation from the town for specific work that was done.
Mhm.
And I think that's how we'll handle things above the 10,000 unless the CFO changes as well.
Okay. All right. Any other questions with regards to anything on the checks or reconciliation report?
I just have one question. I should probably show the answer to this. Worthington Direct, what are they supplying?
That is a shelving unit for the children's department.
Thank you.
Or was it the tables for the teen room?
It was the tables for the team room.
Yeah, sorry. Schools in is the shelving unit.
Yeah, it's furniture.
Yeah, yeah.
Computer
was-
table, team room, yes, last month. Two things with reconciliation, we do have. a Couple outdated checks, one is. Bruce Holsinger. Which is, and Melissa Murphy, that's about $750 between the two of them.
So our author hasn't cashed, our OBOT author hasn't cashed his check.
That
Yeah.
was his travel expenses, which he didn't submit until after the event had already taken place. So
But we've-
that was-
but we've issued the check.
It says it in April, so.
Well, when it would have been after the board meeting, whatever. If the board meeting was the 7th, usually the checks are out within a day or two.
What I'm saying is he hasn't cashed it.
Still a month. and
He didn't
4 months.
cash it by the end of May. I don't know. It's not that long, I guess.
Somebody's doing pretty well.
Certain's next book, rather than.
Just something to keep an eye on, making sure these don't get too updated.
Yeah, this other one, Melissa Murphy, I don't know, maybe she's not taking a fee for that. I'll have Philip check with her. That was the program, the OBOT program after the author,
Yep,
the 5 panelists of 5 AI speakers.
okay. All right, any other questions, Aaron or Stephanie on the phone? All right.
No questions.
Just a note in the recommended motion, it is the May reconciliations and pending June checks. Just FYI. So do we have a motion?
I'll move that the library board of trustees approves the May reconciliations and pending June checks.
I'll
Second.
All right, May seconded, all in favor?
aye.
All right, so moved. All right, with that, we'll now move into old business. So the first item is the network and computer use policy. It's got, I see a lot of red and blue lines on here, so if you wanna.
Yeah, so, I mean, we are requesting revisions to the attached policy, which was reviewed lately last month. Would like to draw your attention to the section titled public computers, paragraph 4 and 5. The primary revision addresses guest passes for public computer access. Over the past year, incidents involving public computers have increased, with several being serious, including harassment and threats towards staff and patrons. Our limited ability to identify guest pass users in these situations remains a significant concern for us, for the police when we call them. Staff have also observed a pattern of extended computer use that has contributed to repeated minor policy violations in an unwelcoming environment for other patrons. This revision does not represent a significant departure from past practice. Rather, it's intended to align policy language with operational needs and better protect staff and patrons when we need to. So the way the language is written is if we do come to the decision of we're being a little bit more restrictive with visitor passes, this gives us the ability to do that. Right now, that's just a conversation we're having. But it's definitely when we had the conversation and I looked at the policy and went, well, the way it's written now, it doesn't really give us that ability to say, hey, we're not giving out passes. And that's my advice to my staff is that if I keep getting incident reports due to computer use, that's gonna be my advisement, which is limiting how long people can stay on a computer and who can actually access those computers. Right now, we just put the passes in the desk, people come and pick them up and use the computer. That's a little bit of a concern of mine, and that's definitely something I continue to have a strong conversation with my managers about. It's hard because here it's a little bit different than the main library. But in both locations, it's almost like computer use is somehow connected to major incidents in one way or another. So,
So, how's it work, right? Cause I haven't used a computer, you have your library card, you have to input
yeah,
the
you put in your library card and
number.
you know, yeah, and then we know who you are.
Right,
We've kind of, that was really put in place really to manage usage because we didn't have to have computers for everybody. Now we definitely do. So we kind of just leave the visitor passes out and we'll invite people to come and get them. At the main library, we changed it a little bit for the teens. I've actually asked them not to just put them on the desk for the teens, because then the teen has to engage with an adult to get them, which is always a good way to kind of circumvent bad teen. I've learned in my career, if you just say hi to a teenager, they're half as likely to cause issues. Even if they're uncomfortable at it and looking at you like, why is this very uncool old guy saying hi to me? It's still, helpful to engage. Although I got dabbed the other day after I told a bunch of kids to buy it, which I was very proud of. So I don't see us changing that right away, but I do feel like if we continue to see a trend in behavior, then it might be, we keep the passes and you have to actually.
how long is the pass good for?
2 hours, but sometimes you can get your time extended for another hour. The one thing I don't like is the fact that we allow people to get multiple passes. So the main library, there's some people who are on the computer for hours. And
They don't have a library card.
they might have a library card, but it doesn't matter. Because they're just using visitor passes.
How
And
would they not use their library card? They have one.
just because they don't have it with them where they're feeling they wanna be anonymous. So I mean, there are a multitude, if you look at the policy change, it kind of goes through all the reasons why you should have your library card,
So
so
you have people
Yeah, 'cause
signing
limit the
out.
number of yours.
nothing. So it's something we'll continue to have a conversation with about. And at least this way we're writing the policy so that we don't have to make a policy change if we make that decision. We would love to just kind of let people in the door and let use stuff. That's easier for us. It's more. I think, more inviting to patrons, but. Sometimes you have to put rules in place
Yeah,
because. Of people's behavior, even if it's inconvenient for you.
Can IT do something to limit websites? Do they do that?
They do, but they get around it, and there's no filters on those particular computers, so there's. Unofficial filters on our Wi-Fi, but not on our physical computers. That's a whole other discussion,
Right.
filters is a whole other road, I don't really wanna go down right now.
yeah.
Most librarians are on one side or the other.
Oh, well, speaking of computers, we heard. They're shut behind you.
Shut him up.
Oh,
Now let's restart it.
Yes, your teens are coming here after hours, I guess. We don't know about.
Teens are listening, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of guests.
Any questions with regards to the language as it's amended on here? I mean, I think this is the way in which it's written that. Why? The whys of
yes,
are clearly delineated.
If you wanna put in anything that allows for more. Boundaries around them, if you decide to
I think,
change that.
I think.
Without rewriting the policy.
I think it gives us a good, I like to write policy in a way that there's kind of a process interpretation made by the staff. That's flexible, and I think that's what this does. We can limit it and say, hey, here's our policy and here's. And if they ask, why did you do it before? Well, we allowed it and it was not working.
Yeah,
Yep.
like if you wanted to create some system for signing out a pass where you.
I mean, really, yeah, I don't think that needs to change in the policy, I think that really, we can interpret this policy that gives us that.
And this has been reviewed by the town attorney.
So it hasn't been reviewed by the town attorney because the language hasn't really changed from a legal perspective.
Okay,
So fairly, if we wanna vote on it tonight and then have it dependent on review by the attorney,
Yeah,
can do that. I don't know if it's necessary, but if you guys wanna do that, I'm fine with that. I can send it over to Phil.
I think it can't hurt.
yeah.
You know what I mean, cause,
CYA.
yeah, see, well, AI, everything else, right, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's changing.
Well, yep, CYA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I just wanna make sure, yeah. All right, somebody wanna make a motion to approve the policy with change the amended language? We don't have.
Just check.
What? Wait, you're voting on this now?
Is this
Yeah.
pending the review of the legal review though?
Yeah,
Yes.
Oh.
Okay.
I see something here that seems to have been added, and that is that patron can be denied use of the computers for unpaid fines and fees, and I've never heard of anything like that.
And that's always been in the policy.
I don't see it. But is that legal?
Yes. You can restrict library usage. We don't allow people to borrow books.
Yeah, I think if it goes to the limit, it's gonna block you anyway.
Yeah,
Like,
But
just what I'm
if-
saying, like when you went to go check out books, if you come
Mhm.
up with a
yeah,
limit.
your card gets
Your card
suspended,
gets
you
blocked.
can't, and that's
But this
why-
is regarding a guest pass. In other words, if someone comes into the library and they're over the fine limit and they can't afford to pay and they need to use a computer, they'll ask for a guest pass. We give them the guest pass. We don't know what their fines are. And why
Yeah.
would we deny them that use of the library?
I would say that's based on that this policy leaves it up to kind of the administration to make that decision.
Just covers you.
Yeah, this just covers us.
It's unenforceable.
Well, if we say if you follow the rest of the policy, which is you gotta use your library card unless you're an out-of-state guest.
So any Connecticut library card you could.
Any
log in?
Connecticut library
Yeah.
card, you can get a.
Once you're in our
library card
system.
with us.
And we have no idea what the fines are for those out-of-towners.
Yeah, I mean, they could have fines at their home library and we wouldn't know, and that's why which is a big.
It just seems to me like you're making the policy stricter for people who have a library card than people who don't.
Well, because my view is if you have $50 in fines, that's fine, but if you borrowed 10 DVDs and you never brought them back. And you owe the library hundreds of dollars, I don't think you should be able to have.
You can use that card on computers until it is expired. But I don't believe that the computer checks your fines when you're logging on to public computer. I don't believe.
Okay, well, again, this is just giving us that ability to enforce.
Okay, I don't want to cause any trouble. I'm sorry.
Oh, good point.
Interesting.
It's just shocking to me.
Well, I sent an email to managers like 3 or 4 weeks.
I
ago.
know.
Give me a feedback on the
Yeah,
changes.
I know. I missed it.
yeah, I think it does provide additional cover.
Yeah.
But if it, to Jan's point, if it for some reason is unenforceable, Philip says that we have conditional approval with this, motion. So the name of the motion?
Yes, I move that we approve the network and computer use policy as amended pending legal approval.
All in favor?
Second.
Oh,
I'll second.
Definitely got the second.
All right, I heard you say something. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
So moved. All right, now we'll move into our trustee budget, which I think the one thing with this. As we look at it, was designed, the one thing we may need to adjust on here is if we are paying the. Management fees out of the. It's so asinine. But we may want to add that as a budget line. Any thoughts?
That makes sense.
I mean, Aaron, that's gonna be a moving target, right? Because it's based on what we earn.
No, it's a flat fee.
No, it's the same every year.
Are you talking the advisor's fees?
Yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
Could the advisory fee be in the trustee budget?
Well, yeah, it's our trust, but it's coming out.
Okay.
Don't have any implications to be upping our budget and that much?
It was getting paid before.
It was,
Right, yeah.
it memorializes it. And if for some reason there's additional costs, then we can address.
It's gonna be budgeted than being just taken out, so.
Yeah.
It does, you know, provide better, you know.
And we will have to determine what the drawdown is gonna be. We didn't delay the drawdown last year. No.
we did, but we've no, last year I think we did it on time. It was the year before that we delayed it.
Delay the drawdown, yeah. But I do think that that's something that should be added in, because it's
Yeah.
it's a sizable line item.
And is it a
Um,
line item because they're not drawing it directly the way they always have? Is it a line item because it is now outside of the regular course of action with
Yes.
with
Yeah,
them?
we've never received an invoice, we now be paying $30,000 worth of invoices. And part of the reason why we have the budget is because we know that these are expected outlays for the board in the coming year. And we just want to make sure that that is addressed in the budget. Such that, when we go through and do, we get audited, let's say, we're not just. It ties somewhere specifically that the budget has been approved, spend will have been approved. This way we also won't have to vote on it every time it has to get paid. It's in the budget. Unlike when we get whatever the new invoice is, we don't have to vote on the approval of payment.
So what accounts are being charged? 4 accounts or 5
Aaron, it's 7,500 for all of our accounts, right?
Yes, it's
altogether?
it's the whole portfolio. Yep.
Total.
portfolio.
Oh, okay, so 7,500, is that quarterly?
Yes.
Yeah, 30,000 annual.
So then if we just put down at the bottom there, additional planned expenses from special funds, Vanguard, or what's the other one, Mercer advisory fees, and transfer from where are you gonna take it from?
Not transfer, it's gonna be general fund.
No, because she's gonna take the money out of those special funds.
No, it'll come out of our general fund.
Right.
Well,
Correct.
how are you gonna pay
No,
for
it's
it?
not like I'm gonna take it out of the Simco or the Lurchant Fund, for example.
Or the memorial, you're not taking it out of Memorial or Jennings?
No,
So-
it comes out of, I always forget which one we transfer
when
only
you
out of
do this-
Memorial, right?
So when you calculate the transfer from the invested funds based on that 5-year rollover thing or whatever that is, are you going to add 30,000 to that? Or is that,
I mean,
Or
it would be
just the
from
whole
the
budget?
same fund. I wouldn't necessarily put them together, but they can be. I guess there's a reason for them not to be.
well, if you don't add 30,000 to the transfer, then where are we getting the money from?
Oh, no. I apologize. Yes, I'm certainly going to transfer the 30,000. We can keep it as a separate item so we can track 30,000 coming in, and then whatever the other amount is, 115,000. I'm just making up a number off the top of my head, but
Yeah,
Yeah, so that number would remain at the top, and then at the bottom, additional planned expenses, Mercer
The-
advisory fees 30,000 and expense 30,000. Is that? the amendment was
you
proposed?
have transfer from the invested funds would, instead of 138 would be 168. With a
So
line
put it
item
all at the top.
all at the top with a line item of 30,000 for the for the management fees.
Okay. Okay, that's easy enough to do.
And Aaron, they're gonna send us a invoice, do they have?
Yes, I can get the invoices.
Yeah.
All right, so do we want to? Well, then we'll need to have a revised budget
Yeah. I think we do.
for next month. And approve it in the next month.
Well, by then we might have an idea of what the
The draw. Yeah,
the drawdown and the friends perhaps.
Yep.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. All right, next item is the annual meeting. Which is scheduled for July 13th. Any I guess the question here is because, so we'll do the business meeting at 6:30 and then the community gathering is what you call it, Stephanie. Is there somebody that would be willing to work with staff for in preparation of this?
Yeah, it's a low lift. We just want somebody who we can, when we have a question, we can bounce ideas off of. You know, red wine versus, white.
I'm happy to help.
Okay. May you have.
Okay.
Okay,
Out of town the week before that, but.
So high, but that's.
So everything done.
Well, everything done.
Yes.
So, I mean, my hope is to have.
No family.
Oh, if you go to Camp Hero, let me know.
Oh,
When I
yeah.
was a teenager, we used to sleep, break into the bunkers.
That
They're
sounds
there.
fun.
You can go, it's very nice now, there's a skate park and you can get
Yeah.
right by the radar tower, and that's what they base Stranger Things on,
No way.
so.
Yeah. That's a
Very
fun
cool.
fact.
Okay, excellent.
alrighty. Thank you, May. All right, next item is the strategic plan. Scott, yours.
So, the plan outlines the institution's priorities, which are community engagement, partnership, operations, and governance. Really what I wanna call to your attention the most is that there are some parts of this that touch governance. One of those being the goal to hit all the marks on the state standards for the library board. We're almost there with most of them. Jen, when was the last time we reported out on this?
On the strategic plan?
No, remember the state standards? We did a report on it. When do we usually have to do that review?
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
So they have us do a review of the state standards,
Related to the strategic plan?
not related to just to the library in general. Okay, well, I will look for that and send it out to all of you. Basically, it's a checklist of what we do right and what we can improve upon.
Mhm.
And I know we've presented it to you guys in the past. That would be one of the things that we'd wanna make sure that we hit good or excellent on.
Yep.
In everything that we do. That's the discussion about the executive director and the library director's review was one of those that we
Yep,
fell on. There was a couple there that we needed. I think one of them was a policy on gift giving. So there's some things that we've already done, so we're really close to it.
yeah,
But I'll go back and I'll find that review for you all and share it with you.
To my
Okay.
knowledge, there's no particular requirement for that. That's just like a Scott thing that he thinks is a good thing to do, which it is.
Yeah. So I don't remember the last time we did it. I assumed it was around this time of year.
I don't know. I'll
not
check.
sure,
We'll look for it.
yeah,
But that's really the part, this strategic plan is not a major change from the previous one. We really kind of just saw the same kind of, same trends from talking to staff, from talking to stakeholders, from looking at our survey. And it really kind of puts us kind of moving forward. Another piece that I think is gonna be interesting for us is just kind of doing an internal assessment on how we operate.
Yep.
Kind of getting into the weeds about the way our managers are assigned, the way that the two branches work in tandem and where they kind of diverge from each other. That's gonna be a lot of work for the staff. But honestly, that's something I identified as an issue when I started here. So that's definitely something that we're gonna do a deep dive on. We may actually bring Maureen on to who helped us with the strategic plan to do some additional kind of work, brainstorming and doing things around it, just to kind of get the organization a little firmer and a little more conformed on how we approach the things that.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think in having more with regards to governments, and we talked about this, in chairman, from where we are now, the leaps and bounds from where we were before. There's still stuff to continue to can continue to grow with, and it just makes us a more resilient board and a more resilient library. I think this stuff makes sense. Any questions on the phone, Stephanie or Aaron?
No, thank you.
No.
The last thing I do want to point out is there is some, based on what we learned in the survey around the Friends. So if you look at goal 4, strengthen sustained
Yep.
library governance. We talk about increased public awareness of the Friends' role in supporting the library's mission. And C, it should be D, but it's not there. Aligned development efforts among the board at Friends in town to advance initiatives and capital improvements. That's built in with the mind of how we're going to do this building project.
Yeah. Yep.
They want to capitalize towns.
Yeah.
Don't feel left out.
Again, this is not for voting on tonight.
Yep.
It's for you all to look. I welcome, if you wanna look at it and ask me questions before the meeting, I'm more than happy to do that. Don't include other board members in the email or else then it turns into a meeting and we've broken open meetings law. But if you wanna individually ask me questions, I'll answer right away and also include that in any report out at the next board meeting.
Yep.
So feel free to send me questions. I mean, this is a big thing. This is a big responsibility of the board, so, I look forward to your questions.
Great. Great. All right, now into new business. So with regards to trustee nominations, this will be held under executive session, as I mentioned at the top of the meeting. So do we have a motion to move into executive session?
I motion to move into executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
So Jan, at this point, could you pause
Pause,
the,
just pause it and then what?
just pause it? All right. Now that we've come out of executive session, after discussion with Peter Wilner, who has submitted his resignation to the board, since our last meeting, we will now need to replace the remainder of his term. I would like to nominate Helen Devanzo as to replace Peter's term, the remainder of Peter's term, which will expire at the end of the next fiscal year. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We'll inform Helen of the decision and get her over to the Board of Selectmen for approval. And then swearing in. which we can do at our July meeting. Then with regards to the other candidate from my seat, which will be a 3-year term. We are finalizing our selection and we'll have somebody identified at the latest by the July meeting. With that, we have reached the end of our agenda. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Don't be too eager, Aaron. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, and so we adjourn our meeting at 8:47 PM. Our next meeting will be 6:30 PM at the main library. It will be a special meeting, just remember that. Thank you, everyone.